everyone, welcome back to the channel. So this channel is all about educating and talking to past brides about what they did on their wedding day to see if they would have done anything differently, and more importantly, why they did the certain things that they did. So, dear future bride, what advice would you give yourself or anybody else getting married? So today's guest is Stephanie. Stephanie is, we did your wedding, what year? So that was 24.
24, yeah.
And that was September?
July.
That was July
Yep.
of two.
Almost a year ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Happy anniversary.
Thanks. Not yet, but almost.
All I can say is, wow, what a wedding. Start to finish. You were at the lake house in the Berkshires.
Yep.
The first thing I want to start with is, what made you pick that place?
Oh my gosh, how could you not pick that place?
I agree.
That was your first time there, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. So Austin and I got engaged in Italy. So we were kind of able to talk a little about like wedding planning while we were there, not too much. But I think once we got back and got into the nitty gritty of it, I remember we were outside on Memorial Day weekend and a couple of our friends came over and you know, everyone wants to talk about wedding planning. So we were finally like, oh, like, where do we get married? Austin's from Bristol. I'm from Billerica. So it's like, I don't know, like, where do you kind of meet in the middle there? And just going through the knot, like, very briefly, someone said, oh, what about the Berkshires? And I was like, wow, that would be nice. So that's very in between us. Austin's such an outdoorsy.
Oh, 100%.
Man, so having the mountains in the background.
Yeah.
And I think I kind of always envisioned myself getting married near water. So perfect compromise. So we were on the knot and the lake house popped up and you see the cottages and people can stay on site and you're like, oh my gosh, how do you not pick this place?
When I walked into there, it's a little deceiving from the street.
Sure, absolutely. Because you pass it.
Exactly.
You don't see it.
GPS takes you one
Yes.
way and brings you back, and then you get in the parking lot. It's like, okay, where is this?
Right.
Then you walk up that little road to the field, and then there's the tent, and then there's the lake.
Yeah.
It's
Oh
like,
my gosh.
it like deceivingly from the road, but once you get up there,
Yep.
like it like opens up.
Beautiful.
Like opens up.
And you
to
get
the
it for
view.
the entire weekend.
That's because you were there for the whole weekend.
Yes.
And you got everything was done there. You're getting ready.
Yes.
Everything else was done there.
Didn't have to leave. Didn't move. We had our welcome party on Friday night. We did our rehearsal. We
Yeah.
had our dinner. Then we had people come from off-site, on-site to have drinks and
Yeah.
stuff. Then Saturday, you get ready. We each got ready in a cottage, two of the bigger cottages. And then, yeah, we did pictures, ceremony, cocktail hour, reception, after party, like everything. And then we had brunch on Sunday and that was it.
And I feel like it's almost like a win-win because you don't have to worry about driving from one place to get to the other and then start your thing. You're getting up the next morning and you're in the same house that your cottage that you're getting ready in.
Exactly.
And then so on and so forth. And I remember the day when I went there and your husband was walking around. He was setting up the arbor that you, and he built that, correct?
He built that, yep.
He built this arbor that was there, and he was staging it and putting it all up and stuff like that. Went back to the cottage, took a shower, did everything he needed to do.
He went running that morning.
Yeah, and of course he did. Why not? Why not? So that was my next question is, after you said yes, what was one of the first things, which I feel like you already answered it, was the place.
Absolutely.
Figuring out where it needed to be because of what you were looking for and distance because people were traveling and things like that.
Exactly. I have a lot of family in Maine, so I didn't want to make it super far for them. And then Austin's family is mostly in Connecticut and around, like, a majority of our family is in the New England area. So getting married in New England was definitely something we wanted to do. But I feel like a lot of people haven't been to the Berkshires, especially like with my family out east. Like, when you're from out east, you don't know anything past Worcester.
That's true. And that's accurate.
So that's definitely like first time my family's been there. My family from Maine, they never been out there, and everyone made a weekend out of it. It was so fun.
It was. So was it basically just location and then you checked their availability, or were you specifically looking for July?
We were either going to do the summer or the fall. I always wanted to get married in the summer, but I feel like now everyone's leaning more towards the fall. So now the fall is harder days, but we were like, if we're getting married at the lake house, we're doing it in the summer. You want to be able to use the lake, right?
That makes perfect sense. You don't want to have a lake like that and it's covered with ice.
Exactly. Or even too cold to go in.
Or even too cold to go in. And we're going to talk about later on a lot of things that happened at your wedding. You know, you guys brought fishing poles for the kids.
We
did. They were pink and they were purple. And
they were Barbie.
They were Barbie. And the groomsmen ended up playing around with them too. So we got some really funny shots with that too. So that was fun. Everybody was very involved and very entertaining.
Yes.
There was a lot of jokesters and a lot of things which kind of eased a lot of the tension from the day and things like that. So
For sure.
it was basically the place that was the most important thing, the season which was the thing, and then that July falls right into that summer months.
Yeah.
Perfect.
What was so funny was when I first inquired to the lake house, like you have to put in like what date you want potentially, and it's like, oh, I don't know. So I'm just looking at the calendar because it's like you don't want to make it too close to the 4th, and then you want to make it too close to Labor Day. You don't want to make people travel on a holiday. So I was like, okay, so I don't know, July 20th. But then she sends the availability, and July 20th was still available, and I'm like, I don't know, do you just like stick with it since that's the first date you picked? And so I just stuck with it. And I was like, oh my gosh, please just don't rain.
And you are absolutely right, because that would be one of the drawbacks to having a beautiful lake and under the tent and the beautiful view with the mountains that are across there.
And then it rains.
And it would rain. And it did not.
It did not.
It was actually very, very sunny that day.
It was raining in Springfield.
Yes. It was very sunny out that day, so that was the only thing we had to contend with was being on that upper deck, which is about 30 feet higher than where the lake is. That was the only thing we had to contend with, was being in the sun for the pictures.
Yes.
But it's better than rain.
Absolutely.
Yes, it was a struggle because we did your formal pictures before your ceremony.
Correct.
Perfect. So we'll talk about the reason why you did that later on. So you said yes, you come back, we've got the date, you've got the venue, you've got everything else. What was the next 3 things that was at the top of the list for priorities for any part of your vendors?
So what's nice is I think most venues that you go to, then they give you their preferred vendor list. So then you're kind of going through that. I think the next 2 for us was getting the catering and getting the alcohol or the bar. Brennan's Catering does a lot of the lake house weddings, and Kelly's bar service. So they got great reviews. I loved working with Maureen and John. They were fabulous. So we booked them. The third thing, I think we probably booked our DJ third. Not that it was a the next thing. It was just how it happened. But I think Rob Alberti is the only DJ we talked to. We didn't talk to anybody else. I didn't need to.
I feel like he corners Berkshires.
Yes.
I feel like he does corner the Berkshire market when it comes to that. And DJ Justin was like one of the, in my opinion, the most entertaining. It's a little deceiving when you first see him and then you watch him work. And it was like almost like a magician would run a puppet show kind of thing like that. The way he moved through the music to get people on the dance floor, it was absolutely amazing. And we're going to talk about your first dance in a little while because we need to address that. But DJ Justin was excellent from Rob Alberti.
He asked like, okay, what year do you graduate high school? I'm like, okay, we both graduated in 2010. He's like, oh, perfect. I'm 2011. I was like, Justin, I need our wedding reception to be like our middle school dances. Like that's the vibe. And he's like, I got you.
He nailed it.
Nailed it.
He nailed it.
Nailed it.
He nailed it. Yeah, I can't. There's nothing more you say. He nailed it. He nailed it. Was there any priorities to your budget spending? Obviously, the venue comes at the top. Catering and the bar were the next 2 things that you did, and then the DJ was according to that. Was there any preference to, because the catering was X, we had to cut back on something else, or did you find that everybody was comparable to where they were?
So because you're getting the lake house for the weekend,
Great point.
Costs more than probably other venues. However, the way I pitched it to my father was that you get this venue for 49 hours because you get it from noon on Friday to 1 p.m. on Sunday.
That's a good pitch.
So I'm like, if you're pricing it per hour, this is the break. I made a whole PowerPoint. So it was like I was doing a business
I'm so
plan.
glad you said that because you're almost having a wedding weekend.
Correct. Absolutely.
Instead of just a wedding day.
Yeah. Such a vibe. I would highly recommend. So then, venue's going to cost X amount. Okay. And working with the catering, we had to go out and we had to make sure we had plates, silverware, cups, like the lake house provided the tables and chairs, but we had to make sure the catering had all that stuff. So what was nice about Maureen's package is everything was included, and tax, tips, like, when you see the prices initially, and then it's at the bottom, 20%.
The fine print.
The fine print, right? Maureen's was all included. You knew exactly how much you were going to pay per person. So that, I think, that saved us from allowing for us to having our wedding at the lake house. And then with John's bar, with Kelly's, what was really nice is John says, okay, you give me whatever alcohol you want there, and then whatever's unopened, I'll buy it back from you.
Oh, nice.
So he like reimburses you for whatever's not opened, and then he'll leave it like at the end of the night. Yeah. Whatever's opened for your after party. Which is
but
nice.
You have it for 2 days. You have it for the whole weekend. Wow, what a great experience that must have been.
Oh my gosh, amazing.
So the next thing I want to talk about is how did you pick your wedding vendors? Was it based off of the preferred vendors list?
Mm-hmm.
How did you find Kayla for the video?
You.
Okay, that's right. That was a recommendation.
Because when I came here, and then you gave us some of the business cards, so that's how I got my wedding dress at Pearl. And then we reached, because I was on the fence if I wanted a videographer or not, because it's like you start adding it up and you're like, oh, I don't know, is it worth it? Am I really going to watch this? So we reached out to Greg and he gave us a good price and my dad gave me the go ahead. And he was like, if you want it, that's fine. It's a reasonable price. So he was unavailable that day, but then he sent Kayla, who was awesome. And I feel like you two worked very well together.
Yeah, we do a lot of weddings together.
So that worked out very well.
Perfect. What was the, not preference, how did you and I meet? Was it one of the bridal shows?
No, I think I found you on Google, because I had talked to a couple photographers. Like I went through the preferred vendors list from the lake house, and but then I was like, I don't know, like it was like I could have went with one, but then I was like, I'll reach out to a few more. I think the photographer was the hardest one to pick.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know why.
Explain.
Just like all the packages are so different, and I think how we looked at it is, what are we going to get out of our package? Like I could have went with certain photographers, but I was only going to get them for this amount of money for 6 hours, and then you didn't get a second photographer and this and that. Whereas I got a second photographer, I got 8 hours. You get the 8x10s at the end of your whole wedding party, which I didn't even realize included all our flower girls. We had 5 flower girls, all our junior bridesmaids, all our groomsmen bridesmaids, and then the 16 by 20 canvas. So we were like,
which was a beautiful sunset over the lake. Which just saying. So that's good. So you did, what was your average of how many DJs did you look at? How many photographers did you look at? And what advice are you glad you did? Because the first thing you said was, I looked at others just to see what they had. Right. Were you glad, and would you recommend how many vendors would you recommend a bride and groom in the future that's going to see this? How much would you say that you should look at per vendor?
I think you got to wait till you see the one. Like once I went to the lake house, I was like, this is my venue. I got to convince my father, but we're getting married at that. I was convinced. So we saw three venues. Like I said, I didn't talk to any other DJ. The price that Rob Alberti gave us, that was perfect for the amount of time. They got they have amazing reviews. So I'm very glad we went with Justin. Photographers, I think I probably talked to at least 5 or 6.
I was going to say,
just because, like I said, the pricing is so variable in what you get in your package. And then I think as you talk to more vendors, I think you have a better idea of what you're looking for.
Good point.
So then you feel more comfortable asking certain questions and what they include in their package. Like, oh, okay, like, I don't know, what are you, however long you're there, do I have a second photographer? Do you do a photo book? Do you like this, that? And then videographer, we only talk to Greg. Because I think at certain points, like, okay, this is a fair price. This is exactly what I want. I don't need this big over the top thing. Like, I'm fine with this. And then catering, I think we talked to a couple. I think Austin kind of, for the most part, talked to the catering. So he might have talked to like 2 or 3. And then for the bar, Kelly's was the only one we talked to, I'm pretty sure. So, I mean, I think talk to as many until you feel like it's the one. Right? Until you feel like this is a huge expense.
So if you find the one within 3 photographers you're looking at, base your information off of that instead of just looking at one and saying, oh, okay, well, I don't want to settle with this.
I think you definitely have to talk to multiple people. For sure.
And I feel like that's probably good advice because it really is, because sooner or later you're going to find a person that you might like, but they might be a little bit more expensive than what you wanted to spend. But there's something about the vibe or the energy of the person that you want to be part of that.
Right.
And then when you start putting, this is the problem that I feel like a lot of brides now is they get that first photographer's price tag and they're like, oh my God, I was not expecting that.
Right.
Then you reach out to 4 others and they're higher and or the same. You're like,
Ooh,
so that's the average price then is X.
Yeah.
So I feel like same thing with DJs and same thing with a lot of the other things. It's like once you get 3 or 4 bids, call them that way, you start to see that that is the average of what it costs for the professionals.
I think what's nice about the knot, it allows you to like kind of filter like in your price range what you're looking to spend per vendor. So that was like a good place to start. And then you have to get along with your vendors, right? So you have to jive with them. You don't want someone that's going to
person before you make
so you don't want to be awkward, especially your photographer. I feel like you're going to spend hours taking pictures with this person. So you want to make sure you get along with them. They have a right vibe.
Now, Marissa was the beauty studio. She was your makeup artist that was there, hair and makeup. Her and I do a lot of weddings also. I was actually with her 2 weeks ago.
Oh, nice.
So she's really good at what she does. But how did you approach the hair and makeup part? Because I feel like that's a little bit different than photo and video because now this is the person that's actually touching your face.
So I am not a makeup person. So I was so afraid to be talking to makeup people. I don't wear makeup on a regular basis. So I was very afraid of wedding makeup and what you're going to look like. And you don't want to look overdone. And I wanted to make sure I looked like myself. So I actually asked my hairdresser if she had any recommendations. I'm like, you're a hairdresser. You must know some people that don't. So she gave me 2 recommendations and she actually sent me Marisa. And so I had reached out to her and her website is like, she loves Gilmore Girls and she's like, I will bring the Lorelai Gilmore Girl vibe and coffee and I was like, that's it. That's all I needed.
That's it. Did you feel like when it came to your vendors that Google reviews were beneficial? Did you pay any attention to them or not?
I did. Yep. I did Google and read the not reviews too. My bridesmaid Lily, I feel like helped me the most with hair and makeup, and I made sure like I would send their Instagram pages to her, and I'm like, okay, how do you feel about this part? Because she's very good at makeup. She did my makeup for our engagement photos. Which we had a crab walking across the ground, and your dog was there with us too. So I remember the crab going across, and here comes Austin picking it up and just picks it up, and we ended up putting your ring in the claw. So that's funny how all of that comes together. How did you get to the dress? I feel like the dress is one of the most personal pieces a bride can wear on their day, other than like earrings and bracelets and necklaces. It's like the wedding dress is like that biggest piece that represents you. How did you come across that? I know it was from Pearl Bridal. That was so we went to Pearl.
How many dresses did you look at?
I don't know. I must have tried on at least like 10-ish. But we went, my mom, Austin's mom, and my sister went, so just a few of us. I think they only allow you to have like 3 or 4 people. They don't allow you to have a lot of people. My dress was actually the first dress I tried on.
Wow.
I tried on other dresses after, but it was actually the first dress I tried on.
The first one was the one, and then you went through a few others, and that confirmed the first one. Good for you.
It was actually a harder decision than I thought. Like I really liked the dress I wore because I really wanted something fitting. I did want straps. I knew I wanted like a little design here, more plain at the bottom. I like the buttons on the back of the dresses. So I had favored like some of the dresses on their website and gave them an idea of what I was looking for. But they actually, I actually did try on like a bigger gown. It wasn't huge, but it was like bigger than some. I was like,
you had a very slim one. You had a very form-fitting one.
I was like, I don't want the huge like Cinderella dress. That's not me.
That wasn't you.
But I did try on. It wasn't a full Cinderella, but it was bigger, and I was like, ooh, I do actually kind of like this. But you also have to think of your venue. Like, I'm going to be outside in July on a lake, and this
under
dress,
a tent.
Maybe if I was getting married in like November, October, November, maybe this would be an appropriate dress. But
given the time of the year and the place that you were at, helped you decide on the dress that you wanted. And I feel like that's very good advice. Meaning you might fall in love with a dress, but if you're in December and you're strapless, that might be like you'd have to figure something else,
Right.
another way to do that.
Yeah.
That's good advice. That's
Exactly.
good. How did it, any regrets? Not, usually I ask people if they had any regrets usually I get, I wish I danced more. That was not the case for you. I wish I ate more. I wish I finished my food, and I wish I went around to the tables. Was there anything along the, not regrets as in I regretted it, but I wish I would have done
Did this.
X.
Honestly, I don't think so.
Yeah.
Because I did eat.
Yes, you did.
I danced.
Yep.
I feel like I
lot.
talked to everybody.
I agree. You cut your cake.
I guess though we cut our cake and we didn't have this huge thing.
Yep.
I don't know. I guess the only thing I guess if I had to say I regretted something, I feel like right when Justin ended at 10 o'clock, because the music has to be shut off at 10 o'clock.
Correct.
So it got shut off right at 10 o'clock, and we ordered pizza. One of my bridesmaids' husbands ordered Domino's. We had like 20 pizzas come to the lake house at 10 o'clock at night. But I feel like that wasn't announced. I think pretty sure Justin did announce it, so I'm not.
Yep.
But I don't know, and then I don't know where I went. I think I went down to the lake because all the boys wanted to jump in the lake. So I think I did go down there for 1 second, and then I came up and everyone was gone.
Yeah.
So I didn't say bye to anyone.
Yeah.
I feel like unless people did hang around for a little bit afterwards, but I'm like, where is everybody?
Yeah.
So I guess communication on my part for that
Yeah.
could have been a little bit better, and maybe I shouldn't have rushed down to the lake. I don't know.
That's a good point. That's a good point.
So I didn't get to say bye to anyone.
Yeah.
So I guess that one thing.
Yeah.
But
And-
other than that, not really.
And again, that's almost like an oversight. That was
Sure.
it's the heat of the day. Oh my God, the wedding's done.
Yeah,
I'm going
like-
to go down by the water
Right.
and come back. It's like, oh my God, everybody left.
Everyone
Yeah,
left.
Exactly.
I'm like, no one wanted pizza? Like, we just ordered 20 pizzas.
20 pizzas.
But they all went.
Good.
All the pizza got eaten.
Caterers regrets. Wedding party.
Yes.
Was that based off of family, friends, or a little bit of both?
A little bit of both.
Okay.
So I have one sister. She was my maid of honor. Austin's family's huge, as you saw.
Yeah.
So he's one of 7. So his wedding party was a mix of 2 of his brothers and 2 close friends. Mine had my sister and 3 close friends.
Yeah.
So I didn't want a huge 10-person wedding
Yeah.
party, so we just each had 4.
Yeah.
But I think what we did do a good job of still including
I agree.
his family.
Yeah.
So his 2 other brothers still got the suits, so they matched, so they were included in the pictures. We have 7 nieces and 1 nephew on his side. So the 3 older kids were our junior bridesmaids and groomsmen, and then the 5 younger girls were all our flower girls. So I think we still did a good job of including everyone, even though they weren't.
Because that's tricky.
Yeah.
Because you want to include everybody, but then there's a certain amount, we don't want, 25 people across for a wedding party.
Exactly.
But that's understandable. But I feel like you had a nice mix of both.
Yeah.
When it came to Jack and Jill's wedding things, because you were there for the whole weekend, everybody was involved with helping. Was that organized, or did it come automatically where everybody kind of stepped up to the plate and helped?
So
'Cause I know the guys were doing their own things in the morning, the girls were doing their own things in the morning. So
in terms of planning the wedding, I pretty much did it. I mean, Austin did it too, ourselves. But I would reach out to my bridesmaids, like I said, Lily, hey, can you help me with hair and makeup? Because this is not an area that I'm very good at. They all helped with my bachelorette party. My sister and my mom pretty much took the reign on my bridal shower.
Which makes sense. That's not something you should be involved with.
Right. But my bridesmaids went there and helped set up. But I don't know, I didn't want to be a needy bride. But it's my wedding, so it's my responsibility to do X, Y, and Z. But we all went dress shopping. They picked out their dresses.
But everybody stepped up to the plate.
Everyone stepped up
helped.
when they needed to.
Yeah.
Austin's brother, who was the best man, him and his wife Erica, who's the one that married us, they own a pottery studio, so they made the Yahtzee cups in the boxes, the game boxes that Austin made that ended up being our centerpieces.
Yeah.
So they helped out with that. So everyone played their part.
Good.
And everyone's very helpful.
Good. How about your vows? Did you do pre-written, or did you do? Because we didn't do a first look?
We did.
We did a first look and vow. I'm sorry. We did first look and we did formal pictures
Yes.
before the ceremony.
Correct.
What was your reasoning? Because I'm finding a lot more people are doing that now lately. What was your reasoning for doing that?
So I thought well, first of all, we're there the whole weekend. So it's not like we had to do pictures at 1 o'clock, then be bussed to here for the ceremony,
Good point.
then be bussed back here. So why not do the pictures? We're up at 7 o'clock doing makeup. And I think the second reason and the biggest reason I wanted to do pictures and first look before was so I could enjoy my cocktail hour. Like that way I got to talk to everybody at the cocktail hour and I got to enjoy my food at dinner.
What I liked about your cocktail hour was it wasn't just one spot.
Correct.
Your cocktail hour was across all the cottages.
Yes.
So where the grass is, where the ceremony was, they move all the chairs, get it out of the way. And then where the deck is over on the other side, plus the cottages were open, plus underneath the tent.
Yes.
It was like your cocktail hour was everywhere, not just confined to a small spot. And by doing all of that stuff prior to the ceremony, it gives you more of a chance to come back and enjoy all of that. And I think that was really good. It's smart.
Yeah.
I feel like a lot more people are starting to want to be back.
If you have the time, like, I don't know why, I would highly recommend it.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So your vows, did you guys do vows at the ceremony?
We did.
At the ceremony? Were they pre-written or was it something just you said to him and he said to you?
They were pre-written.
Okay.
Austin gives me a lot of crap because he worked very hard on his vows and they were beautiful, very beautiful. I am not a writer. I am a math science person. So me writing anything is like a nightmare. Yes. And
it's not your strength.
It's not my strength, and I feel like I know what I want to say, but I don't know how to exactly say it in such a nice, flowy way. Like, I need help with that. So I might have utilized AI, but it was all my own words, but it helped me write it in a nice flow. Like, answered all these questions and gave me 4 different versions of vows, and then I was able to pick and choose how I wanted to do it. So when Austin found that out, he was not happy. Well,
in your defense,
I was like, work hard, work smarter, not harder. You know.
In your defense, I feel like a lot of my grooms will fall into that where they don't know how to use the words to express themselves. To me, the words that are coming out of your mouth, regardless of where they came from, it could have been a Hallmark card, that fitting. As long as the words are coming out of your mouth, that should be what is absorbed in part of the day as opposed to not where it came from. Because there's a lot of people that just don't have the words to express how they feel. They need help with that. Okay, good. All right, fair enough. Perfect. So you didn't just wing it or anything like that.
No.
You just decided good. Good. I love that. I love that. So you did the first look because you wanted to be part of the cocktail hour. There was no regrets to that.
Nope.
Erica did the ceremony for you guys. That was is that a 1-day ordination for her? And what made you pick her first of all and not going with a traditional justice of the peace? Was it a way of just including her?
Yeah, I mean, we love Erica. She's, like I said, she's Drew's wife, who was our best man. I mean, she's seen us from the beginning, I think, and we just couldn't think of a better person to really be up there to marry us.
Great point. All right. I was not aware of this, and I was not expecting this. So ceremony's done, you guys come walking in and all of the stuff gets done and we're doing the whole wedding party intros and stuff like that. You guys go right into your first dance and the whole first dance coming up. And I knew there was a lot of movement to what was happening. So for me, I have to place my lights in certain spots. So I put them on both corners facing the lake that way there in the open part of the lake. But the movement that you had was all the way through was really cool. I even said to Kayla, I was like, hey, be prepared. I called my second shooter over. I was like, be prepared. I said that there's a lot of movement. They're going to use almost every square inch of this thing. So don't shoot tight, shoot wide because they're going to be everywhere. Just anticipate, expect the unexpected. We were not expecting the Austin backing up to one side, you backing up to the other side. And then you like this, and then you start running across, and he's right in the middle of the dance floor, and with full arm extension up by the waist, up at you like this, and you're down, and you're just in the air with your arms locked and everything. I'm looking at Kayla while I'm clicking like this, and I'm clicking like this. We've never seen anything like that before. And it was not just like a second and a half and done. He kept you there. Mm-hmm. Everybody's cheering in the background and everything else like that. And you come back down, and then you guys go finish up your dance and stuff like that. Obviously, that was pre-planned because there ain't no way you're not practicing that.
Oh, yeah, you have to practice that.
You have to practice that.
Yep.
Glad you did it.
Thank you. Yes, absolutely. Austin was very nervous. He was so scared. He's like, what if I drop you? Da, da, da. And I'm like, we got this. Like, da, da, da. So we did not plan anything for our first dance until the Wednesday before the wedding.
Wow.
Yeah. Well, we knew the song, obviously, but other than that, I'm like, all right, I've been finding, because, you know, when you're planning a wedding, your Instagram feed is like full of wedding stuff. So there's this couple that practices like good, easy moves that you can do for your first dance. So I'm like, all right, let's try to come up with a sequence. And I think we tailored it very good to the music. And so we practiced, and I'm like, let's do the lift. And he's like, so we never practiced it in the dress. It was a last call. Like,
because he's never seen the dress, so he couldn't have done it.
So we didn't know if the floor was going to be slippery. Am I wearing shoes? Am I not wearing shoes? So that was all like last minute decision. I was like, I have to go in here barefoot. Like, there's no way I can wear the heels and do this. Like, I can't even walk in heels.
So that was premeditated.
That was premeditated. So I'm like, we're lining up next to the tent, like, because we're about to get announced or whatever. And I'm like, we got this. And he's like, sweating. But we did it. It worked out very well, and it was a huge crowd pleaser. Great memory. You took awesome pictures. We got it in our video. It was fabulous. It
was something unexpected. And it was very cool to see something like that and pull it off.
Yeah.
Was there, other than, because he's never seen it you never practiced it with the dress on kind of thing. And both of you guys are tall.
Yes.
Both you and Austin are tall people.
Yes.
So it wasn't just like, a tall guy picking up a, 4'2" girl. It was, two tall people going across and doing it. It was one of my most memorable weddings.
Thank you.
With that whole lift that was in there. Then you did the father-daughter dance, and and I remember that we got her to the middle of that and stood her up.
Yep.
Got it.
Got it. Yep. So she was able to dance for a little bit, which was a great memory for Austin and his mom.
Yes. And I feel like that is what needs to happen on wedding days when it comes to.
There was not a dry eye in the place. Yep.
So you guys had centerpieces. I know Austin made the arch, and he made the boxes for the centerpieces also.
Yeah. So we love Yahtzee. Yeah. So I don't even know how we came up with the idea, but like I remember talking about it the summer before, and we were like, oh, a centerpiece, like we'll put games in it. So we had Yahtzee, we had LCR, we had a deck of cards. And like I said, Drew and Erica were able to make the cups to roll the Yahtzee dice in. So we put dice in there. And so we told Justin, we're like, hey, announce, like while people are waiting for their dinner, make sure you tell them about the boxes so that they open them. And everyone had to play a game or however they wanted to decide. But whoever won the game, that's who takes home with the centerpiece. Yeah. So we've gotten a lot of compliments on that. People loved it. People were like, oh my God, I wanted to win the box so bad.
Yeah, very unique.
Very unique. Yeah. So I think that's the most important part of your wedding is you need to make it you guys.
Yeah.
It's your wedding.
Yeah.
You're not doing it for anyone else. You're doing it for you. So I think we were able to put in different aspects, not overwhelming. Like we were able to, Barkley couldn't be there, unfortunately. She had other plans, but we were able to still incorporate her in our drinks and in our table numbers were all pictures of Barkley. Yeah. And then, we're big Taylor Swift fans, but, everyone likes different music. So we weren't overwhelming with Taylor Swift, but our whole like walking down the aisle music was like orchestra, acoustic, Taylor Swift songs, which was nice.
Yeah. So you really were able to consciously personalize it with just enough of you guys in there without it being overwhelming or anything else.
Yeah.
What advice would you give a bride and groom that are planning their wedding for 1 year from now? What advice would you give somebody?
Don't be stressed. It's
That's good advice.
Don't be stressed. It's not worth it.
Yeah.
And I think like there are certain times you're going to be stressed, like especially like the few weeks leading up to the wedding, like all the payments are due, all the vendors are reaching out to you, you're still trying to work your full-time job, like, and trying to get back to everyone, and you're having meetings and finalizing everything, and you're making sure everything comes in on time, but everything works out, and it's going to be the best day ever.
Yeah.
Everything works out. And you have to have fun. Like, everyone tells us to, like we've mentioned, our dance floor was amazing. I don't think I even left the dance floor.
Yeah, I agree.
And it was full all night, even before it got dark. And people have, like, you guys were the vibe. Like, the bride and groom really make the vibe at your wedding.
That is good and bad.
Yeah.
I feel like you can, it is a proven fact that when the bride is on the dance floor, there's more people that come out to the dance floor and things like that. The DJs love it when the brides come out and get onto the dance floor. When that bride goes to go see some friends or goes to the bathroom or does a sunset pictures or has to cut the cake, you tend to see the kind of go down. So it's very helpful that the bride is out on the dance floor. Austin was on the dance floor. All of his guys were on the dance floor. It was a very packed wedding. On the dance floor. And you had it there for the whole weekend. So the advice that you gave them is make it personal, make it fun, don't stress out. What advice would you give somebody that has in-laws or parents that are a little bit more stronger-willed, and the bride wants and the groom wants things certain ways? And for you just went by your dad's like, hey, can we do this? And there was things that you had to run by him first. So and every budget is different and every circumstance is different. But what advice would you give a wedding couple that has a little bit more of involved parents and in-laws?
So I think we were very lucky because we didn't have as involved parents and in-laws, and they were like, it's your wedding, like, whatever. Not that, like, I had an unlimited budget to splurge, but I think the bigger decisions I did run by my dad, because he did give us, and Austin's parents were able to give us some money, and we paid for part of it. So from, like, all the books and not books, but, like, you get the not book from Amazon in a binder, and Austin's like, oh my God, you're being ridiculous. I don't know. What they all say is, like, okay, like, who's paying for the wedding? Like, and I don't think that needs to be fully, but I think you do need to respect probably some of your parents' wishes and some of your in-laws' wishes. Like, I know a woman, her daughter is getting married this fall, and so she's getting ready for her daughter to get married, and she actually reached out to the in-laws and was like, hey, is there any, like, family traditions that you guys would like to incorporate into the wedding? And they Italian cookies is, like, a huge thing for the fiance's family, so they were able to find a little place near where they're getting married to make these beautiful cookies. So I think compromise. I think everything can be compromised.
I feel like that's a safe word. I feel like that's a safe word, because meaning if a parents want you to get married in a church, and you want to go to a different venue like the lake house, there's no church involvement with that. So this is where that compromise has to come in. Like, yes, I don't have a problem with the church thing, but if we do this, everything's included and everything, So finding a compromise in that.
So pitching, I had, like I said, I had my PowerPoint, my whole business plan.
But maybe you could bring those religious parts that you would normally get in a church into the vows of a venue that you were at. So there's a compromise that comes along.
Absolutely.
All right. Anything else you want to talk about your wedding day, whether it's vendors and or place, anything else?
Oh my gosh. It was just the best weekend.
It was a weekend. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. We had such a fun time. I think my biggest concern with being at the lake house, I was like, everybody else is going to enjoy this. And not that I'm not going to enjoy it, but I'm not going to have time to, like, enjoy the lake. And because they have kayaks, they have stand-up paddleboards. So, like, all our guests that were staying there, they woke up in the morning. They don't have to do hair and makeup at 7 a.m. So they're out on the lake all day, and then we had to kick them out for photos. But I was able to actually enjoy the lake a little bit on Friday. So I had more time than I thought I was going to have, which was really nice. So just have fun. It's such a fun day. Like, it's hard not to be stressed, but just enjoy it. And pick your vendors that you just vibe with and have a good feeling about, and a venue that you love and are just going to enjoy.
Yeah, that's good advice, and I feel like that's just playing to everybody. Just make it your own, make it personal,
your own, and make
compromise
it personal.
if you need to.
Absolutely.
And but enjoy the day.
Absolutely.
Enjoy the day. And in your opinion, getting your first look and formals done prior to the ceremony gives you time to go to the cocktail hour.
And go to the cocktail hour and enjoy your dinner, because some people, I was like, I don't know, should we go table to table? And then you don't spend time going table to table. And I'm like, I already talked to everyone. I'm gonna sit here and eat my raviolis.
And you did.
And I did.
And you did. And then we cut the cake afterwards, and that was fun and entertaining.
Yeah. So I think the cake, I don't know, because that's where I got a little input from the family. They're like, you're not going to have a wedding cake? I'm like, I am, but it's just going to, because that was another thing what was nice about Brennan's. They included a 9-inch cutting cake. And so I'm like, okay, well, how many pieces ideally is that going to serve people? And she's like, oh, I don't know, like 40, 50, whatever. And I'm like, all right, cut it up, serve it. And then they give you a dessert tray with like Italian, pastries, cannolis, eclairs, things like that. And I'm like, that is fine, because I can't even tell you how many weddings I've been to that I do not even eat the cake. Like, if I am not sitting at my table and I am being served cake, I am not going to eat cake. Because you're already on the dance floor at that point. So I'm like, I am a big, I don't like waste. I hate waste. And I'm like, I'm not throwing out half a cake that you just spent thousands of dollars on.
Exactly, on your wedding day.
So I didn't get any of the desserts. I had maybe a piece of cake. I don't even remember. But so that was something we had. I'm like, no, I'm not having this 3-tiered cake, because no one's going to eat it.
It's funny that you said that. I'm finding a lot more weddings now that I'm doing. There's a 4-inch by 4-inch cake, and the bride and groom cut that, and
cupcakes.
That's it. And then they do cupcakes or donuts or cookie platters.
So you can go up there and just pick at stuff. I feel like that's a lot easier, because you don't want to be missing something on the dance floor or somewhere else to sit down and eat a piece of cake.
And I'm almost feeling like it's almost like a 50-50 ratio, that some people do the 3-tier cakes, and then other people are doing a 1-tier just to themselves, and then everybody else gets this. Especially if it's like a gluten allergy kind of thing like that, then they make their own. But there's a lot more people not getting the big elaborate cakes when it comes to that.
And if you want a big elaborate cake, go for it. That's your
exactly.
That's your wedding.
Make it your own. You guys felt like this is what you wanted to do.
Because then you do, you're getting pricing, you have your budget, and you're like, okay, this is where I need to scale back, and this isn't worth it to me, so I'm not going to spend X amount of money on this. I'd rather put it towards this. This is more important to me.
So you can personalize a wedding in the sense of the way you want certain things to happen, and then you can personalize and customize it by, I spent a little bit much over here that was over my budget, but I really like that DJ, so this was really good at what I wanted to do. You know what? We just need a smaller cake. I'm perfectly fine with that. Just,
absolutely.
At the end of the day, just figure out what works for you.
Exactly.
Good. Anything else?
I think I'm good.
All right.
Hopefully that was helpful.
That was very helpful. All right. That was very helpful to hear from a bride that has experience when it comes to choosing a venue based on her first instincts and her first vibe, and same thing with the dress and her vendors and things like that. And if you're on the fence with trying to figure out what best fit for you is do some research. Ask your friends what they've done, and at the end of the day, take what they've said, but then make it your own. Not everybody else's ways that they've done it has to be done the ways that you want to do it. So figuring out what best works for you is probably the most important thing. So I want to thank Stephanie again for Dear Future Bride. What advice would you give yourself and anybody else? There was really no regrets, and everything else was good. She made everything be personalized to what they want, even from making their arbor and making the centerpieces, and coming down to making the cake the way that they wanted it, and then doing the formal pictures first because they wanted to be part of the cocktail hour. Make it your own. It's your day, so just find out the way that do that. So thank you guys for coming back to the channel. Remember to smile more, because it sure does hurt less. Peace.